Going on, Jerome's. So the Minnesota Vikings quarterback position has had some interesting twists and turns this season. Kirk Cousins played at MVP level before he popped his Achilles, and then the gong show of the Pashnot Nick Mullins, as well as rookie Jaron Hall. Now, I'm sure we're going to get in the comments. Well, why are you saying re-sign Kirk? Why are you saying draft a quarterback? Blah, 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 blah. So we've been very consistent all fall, if you'd actually been paying attention, that the Vikings should re-sign Kirk Cousins. I think he does give them the best chance to win in 2024, but also the Vikings should be looking to add a quarterback high in the draft, especially considering that this is going to be one of the deeper quarterback classes in NFL history. I think that there could be 5-6 quarterbacks taken in the first round, probably 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 taken in the top 100 picks. So the Vikings definitely need to partake and enter one Michael Penix Jr. That's right. So Penix has been one of my favorite quarterbacks ever since he was at Indiana. He had some bad puck luck with injuries there that we'll get to, but the last 2 seasons up in Seattle at UW, he's been dominating, and it was awesome to see him get an opportunity on the national stage to show up and show out against Texas. Hook 'em, baby. That's right. But I feel like people are jumping on the Penix bandwagon, and it's great to see. I mean, Penix deserves all of these flowers, all of these plaudits, and he had a big-time game, 29 of 38 for 430, 2 touchdowns, 11.3 yards per attempt. Now, yes, with Aduze as well as the rest of the receiving core, he's got some high-end targets, yes, but he's dropping bombs. He's putting the ball on the money, and I just love him, man. I absolutely do love me some Michael Penix Jr. And one time out. So let's talk about him today. Background, he is 23 years young. He's going to be 24 in May. We'll talk about that in a sec. He's 6'3", 213, former 3-star recruit from Tampa, Florida. Began his career at Indiana for 3 seasons for whatever reason. So he was tough for the Hoosiers, except Indiana just... I mean, Indiana's not a football school. I don't think it'll ever will be. Did put up some decent numbers for the Hoosiers, but tore his right ACL twice, as well as had AC joint issues. Transferred to Washington in 2022 and has lit it up ever since. This year, 66% completion percentage, 48 yards passing, 9.2 yards per attempt, 35 touchdowns, 9 picks, 163.5 quarterback rating, which is good, as well as a 91.8 PFF grade, 39 big-time throws via PFF, including 6 against Texas, and they needed every single one of them since, Texas defense just like, hey, or Washington's defense is like, hey, let's let Texas back in. Ended up second the Heisman race to Jaden Daniels, our guy. Beat Oregon twice, which is hard to do, as well as several last-second heroics and wins. And, I mean, Washington were the cardiac kids this year, and they got it done. And now they play Michigan in the national title game, and Penix has a chance to really put a bow on a fantastic college career. And his superlatives coming in. So the first thing that you're going to notice, beyond like the arm strength and arm talent, he's got a quick ass release. And just trying to think of a comparison, and obviously, like, I'm not like a football scout, but just seeing comparisons, like, he gets the ball out quick. Like, it is akin to Kurt Warner, coming from the Arena Football League, a little bit like Dan Marino, and also since he is a left-handed quarterback, Michael Vick. Michael Vick. Everyone talks about Michael Vick running, but Michael Vick throwing the ball, it was just electric. Like, that ball just flew off of his left hand. Now, I'm not comparing him to Michael Vick. I'm comparing his release to Michael Vick. I know that Michael Irvin was comparing Penix to Michael Vick. Just like, they're 2 completely different quarterbacks. But most arm talent in the 2024 class, which is saying a lot. Elite ball placement. You saw that. Yes, he does benefit from having a trio of NFL caliber wide receivers. Oduza, I think, is going to be a Pro Bowl type guy. But also, he puts the ball on the money. He isn't just throwing up hospital balls and they just reel him in, man. He plays in rhythm, is clutch in close games. Maybe should have won the Heisman. Jane Daniels is our guy, but there are some compelling arguments that maybe Penix should have brought home the hardware. He is 24 years young in May, which is a factor. Got a couple medical red shirts during his time in Indiana. Did tear that right ACL twice, as well as had a bunch of other injuries. And is left-handed. Some teams will hold that against him. In general, it's not that big of a deal. Look at Tua, look at Vic, look at Steve Young, etc. But it does it does give you cause for pause because you could potentially have to readjust your offensive line as well as how you allocate those resources. But that's a bridge to cross when you get there. And for me, I mean, even before the Texas game, I think Penix was solidly at number 4, where I actually put Penix on his own island. So the top 3 guys for me, again, we're going to get heat for this, but I do think that Drake May, considering that NFL does bet more on traits, is going to be up there at 1. I think there's a chance that he is the number 1 overall pick when it's all said and done, because I mean, Drake May, he's got good athleticism, as well as he's got a big-time arm. He's got an NFL sturdy frame. I actually do think that people are just going to compare him to Mitchell Trubisky-Ponder because they wore the same number that went to UNC. They're 2 completely different guys. If you're going to comp Drake May, I actually put him at Justin Herbert. Caleb Williams is a wild card. People see him as Mahomes' generational guy, except I think towards the end of the year, there was a lot of chinks in that armor that really started to come out about Williams, and I think he's still going to be high. I think he still could be 1-1, but there are some questions. Jaden Daniels so fun. Just building up that Skol SU pipeline. Let's keep that thing going. Dual threat guy. You do question, the 1 year of big time production with sort of whatever at Arizona State, but JJ McCarthy. With McCarthy, I feel like he's got those NFL traits. I think that he's got an NFL arm. I think he's got good accuracy. But I think that he's a guy that is going to take a little bit while to develop because the Michigan offense, I mean, it was a running offense. Blake Corum is that dude, and that's exactly what Harbaugh wants to do. So I think McCarthy has a chance to be a better quarterback in the pros than he was in college, which is weird saying since he's had some clutch moments as well as he's playing in a national title game. Quinn Ewers of Texas. I mean, Ewers was sort of up and down in the game against Washington, except I think that he's a gamer. I think that he does have great arm strength and a lot of raw traits. Bo Nix. All right, so, I mean, we're living in the transfer era too. So like Daniels, Penix, as well as Nix, just guys that started somewhere else. Oh, Ewers too, coming from Ohio State, all of a sudden finding success. But Nix at Oregon, I mean, put up great numbers. I mean, you can't sneeze at his touchdown to interception ratio. I think that he's sort of like McCarthy in that he was boxed in with the offense that he was put into, and it's not like Hendon Hooker with Tennessee and the Josh Heupel offense. I think that Bo Nix does have arm and skills to transcend whatever offense he's in. I don't think that they ran the offense because of Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix was just in that offense because that's what they ran. Whereas I think that Nix could scale up to an NFL caliber offense. Jordan Travis, even with that injury, I think that he's going to be I think he's going to be pushed on boards a little bit, but certainly has some intriguing upside. Travis did just declare Ewers is still TBD. He's sort of on the fence of what he's going to do with Austin. Cam Ward just declared the pride of Washington State, formerly of Incarnate Word. He is a really interesting potential mid-round pick gamble. Michael Pratt from Tulane has some traits too. So I think that it's going to be a super – I mean, we don't even have Spencer Rattler on this list. I think it's going to be a super interesting, super deep quarterback class. Like I said, I think May, Williams, Daniels all go top 5 because of the quarterback tax. I think teams trade up in there. Penix might be taken off some teams' boards because of the age and medical history, but some teams are going to check it out, and he's going to be good to go. So he is a wild card right now. I think that the Vikings do have to do a lot of due diligence on him, but I mean, the way that he played against Texas, just dropping some of those dead accurate piss missiles to JJ and Addison and Hawkinson long term, it's pretty amazing. Plus, he already looks good in purple, man. So, and also he could and should be available when the Vikings draft in the first round, whatever that is. But see what happens. Again, it's very early in draft season, but Michael Penix one time, man. There you go. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings need to draft Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.